In 1625, Charles I succeeded his father, James I, as King of England, Scotland, and Ireland. From the beginning of his reign, tensions between Crown and Parliament intensified over finance, foreign policy, religion, and constitutional authority. England was engaged in unsuccessful military campaigns against Spain and later France. These expeditions were expensive and poorly managed. Parliament blamed the king's chief minister, the Duke of Buckingham, for military failures and financial waste. In response to parliamentary criticism, Charles dissolved Parliament multiple times between 1625 and 1629. In 1628, Parliament presented the Petition of Right, a constitutional document asserting that the king could not impose taxes without parliamentary consent, imprison subjects without cause, quarter soldiers in private homes, or impose martial law in peacetime. Charles formally accepted the petition but continued to interpret royal authority broadly. In 1629, after further disputes, Charles dissolved Parliament and began a period known as the Personal Rule, governing without Parliament for 11 years, from 1629 to 1640. During this period, the Crown relied on alternative revenue sources. One of the most controversial was ship money, traditionally a coastal defense tax collected during wartime. Charles extended it to inland counties and levied it in peacetime. Legal challenges, particularly the case of John Hampden in 1637, tested the legality of the tax. Although the royal courts ruled in the king's favor, public opposition increased. Religious policy also created resistance. Charles supported William Laud, appointed Archbishop of Canterbury in 1633. Laud enforced uniformity in church practice, emphasizing ceremony, liturgical order, and episcopal authority. Many English Puritans viewed these reforms as a move toward Catholic-style worship. Ministers who resisted were censured, fined, or removed from office. Religious conflict intensified in Scotland. Charles attempted to impose a new English-style prayer book on the Scottish Church in 1637. This action provoked widespread protest and led to the signing of the National Covenant in 1638, a pledge to defend Presbyterian church governance. The conflict escalated into the Bishops' Wars, 1639-1640. Scottish forces mobilized against the king. Charles lacked sufficient funds to sustain a military campaign. As a result, he was forced to recall Parliament in 1640 to request taxation. The first assembly, known as the Short Parliament, was dissolved after only weeks when it prioritized grievances over funding. Military setbacks continued. Later that year, Charles summoned another parliament known as the Long Parliament, which immediately began dismantling mechanisms of royal authority established during the Personal Rule. By 1640, distrust between Crown and Parliament had become structural rather than temporary. Financial disputes had evolved into constitutional confrontation. Religious enforcement had alienated significant portions of the population in both England and Scotland. These developments marked the final stage before armed conflict. Within 2 years, England would enter a civil war between royalist and parliamentary forces.